Then we will go to the event. Now, I will tell you something about the event that I will teach you, that I've never heard no preacher tell to me. I've never read a book. But I will tell you, maybe it will be the first time. Maybe you already know. But most people with evangelism, but most churches, they do something very wrong. Everywhere in the world. Because we want to see numbers. We will evangelize for one reason. Why we're going to evangelize? We want to see numbers. We want to see souls being saved, the church grow. And that's true. I agree with that. But we all go in the wrong way in the war. Because we go in the war like the US Army in the Vietnam War. The US Army, in military point of view, have not lost the war, my friends. Because no, they have not lost the war. Because their killing against the Vietnam was 10-1. For every American soldier that died, 10 Vietnamese, Vietnamese person died, was 10-1. They were winning it on the military field. They were winning it brilliantly. The American generals came with the same mentality for us. They were looking at numbers. If we have more kills than the enemy, we are winning this war. We are doing great. Because look at the numbers. My friends, you will lose the war if you look at numbers. And I'll explain you why. Because the Vietnam had this mentality. How many of us die? Our soldiers doesn't care. We are not afraid of our soldiers die. We have enough. So it doesn't matter for us. But each one of you soldiers die, you get afraid. If 10 of us die, we don't run away from the battlefield. But one of you die, and you all guys start to hide. And that was true because the American public was not happy. The American soldiers were not happy. They say, we are dying. We may be killing them, but we are dying. We don't want to fight anymore. We want to go home. We want to have peace. And America lost the war. Vietnam, America lost. And I'll tell you why, my friends. We go many times to evangelize on the street, but we don't protect our Christians. We don't think that evangelism is warfare, but evangelism is the most brutal spiritual warfare there is. The most brutal spiritual warfare there is. Because we're going inside the territory of the enemy. We want to steal the souls that he has. We want to bind the demons, steal his soul, rob hell, and bring to heaven. Satan is going to fight with us whatever he has. And Satan doesn't fight only with blinding the people. Satan attacks us. And I'll tell you why, my friends. And most of us, we don't see the problem because we are all strong Christians. We go in the battlefield, like I'm the pastor, I'm the super warrior, and all of you are the super warriors. But we go in with our church. And our church members and our youth and our church members are all little warriors. They're tiny warriors. They're not strong warriors. If we give them flyers, we give them tracts, we say this, evangelize and win the soul. And I will tell you one this, my friends, to understand, this is from psychology. And I can tell you from marriage and from friendship. For every bad word, especially marriage, every bad word you say to your spouse, you need to at least say 7 words to recover that one bad word. It's sometimes not 7, sometimes 100. If I say something bad to my wife, let's say the dress was not pretty, I need to either say overcompensate to say that dress is beautiful, that dress is for her finally just to say it's okay. And I want to thank you on this, my friends. And that's why I say one of the most difficult ways to evangelize, for you to understand, is door on door. It's the most effective. If you want to have the maximum souls, just go door on door. But I will tell you, if you want to kill your church and your church members never more to evangelize again, go with all your youth, evangelize door to door. And I want you to understand why. You knock at the door. Most people, if they open the door, they don't want to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. They are angry. And they will be like a pit bull. Woof, woof, woof. And you will say, Jesus loves you. And the person will say, woof, 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 against Jesus, against the church. Not 1, not 2, 10 doors. Then you come at the door of the Christian. Most of the Christians don't want to hear the gospel, and they will be, I'm already saved. If your church is bad, your denomination is a liar, whatever. Your pastor is not good. Ooh, more bad news. You get so much bad news, man, against the gospel, because the Satan will release all his fury. They will see the hate. They will see the disinterested. They will see the rejection against the gospel all the time. And then the one person that accepts Jesus, they will say, oh, I'm happy. But they're so dismotivated that they'll even become happy that one person accepts Jesus Christ. And they are totally brutally killed, emotional, spiritual, because Satan will attack that they might see. Nobody loves Jesus. Nobody needs Jesus. And your church members will think Jesus is not relevant. Jesus is not important. Doesn't make the difference in the world. And they don't want to preach about Jesus on the street anymore. They don't want to evangelize anymore. They are wounded. They are killed. Satan has destroyed your soldiers. We mobilize the church to evangelize. And every time we mobilize the church to evangelize, we go, we got the numbers, we are happy, and then we say, let's go evangelize again. And the whole church says, oh, no. Why no? Because they're all wounded in a battle. Satan has destroyed all your soldiers. Satan has destroyed all your troopers. He has beaten up. It's just like a Vietnam War. You made some great numbers, but your army is being wounded. Your army is being destroyed. And if you go to battlefield, my friends, every good commander knows one thing. I go out with all my soldiers, I come back with all my soldiers. We don't leave no wounded behind. That's his intelligent army. That's the church have not learned that with evangelism. Every in the world, the church have not learned that evangelism. We need to go into the battlefield with the most important issue. Not how many people I will win for Jesus, but how many of my church members, of my group of evangelists, will be happy and excited to evangelize the next day. Will be ready to fight the next day. And I want to show you the Bible verse that Jesus says this very clearly, that we have this in mind. Because in Matthew chapter 10, and that's for me one of the most important verses what God gave for me about evangelism, that we need to put in our minds. Matthew chapter 10. The whole chapter goes about evangelism. But verse 16, because this is the reality of evangelism. Matthew chapter 10 verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. You're understanding? That is evangelism. When you're going to evangelize, you're a sheep that will go inside the midst of wolves. And you must think for all your group. You might be the mighty warrior with dinosaur skin. Yeah, we say Brazil, you got dinosaur skin. The devil may attack you, nothing may hurt you. But that's not your church members, that's not your youth, that's not nobody else. They don't have to shoot like you. And every bad stuff that Satan will attack them with the wolves, he will rip them apart, my friends. And that's why it's so difficult for us as a church every time to mobilize our church again to evangelize. So how can we do that when we are going to evangelize that our soldiers don't get hurt? So you must think in this way that I will show to you. But first I will show you. Okay, I can take this away. So this is the reality of what happened in the most places in the world when we are going to evangelize. We want to see big results. Woo, we get big results. And we go on the street with a big group of people. So we want to have results. And we go with a lot of people. We have a lot of people. But in the end of the activity, this has happened. We started with a lot of evangelists, have won many souls. But the next week, no evangelists left. And then no evangelists, we can win no souls anymore. So mission stops, evangelism stops. This is what happened in most places in the world, because this is our battle strategy. So what we need to do, my friends, is maybe do evangelism, that we don't directly have the biggest results. But if we have some people that want to evangelize, they want to come next week again, invite their friends, and every time we will have more evangelists. And every time, maybe we will win someone, but you understand what is happening. In the long run, we really got a mission department, evangelism department, discipleship department that is working. So you always must think for the long run. So when we do the event, we must ask this question to us. These pens are not so good, but you will understand. Again, a matrix, what I did in the beginning. We must always think, the activity we'll do, high result or low result. All right, so some Christian activities that we do with evangelism and discipleship, some will have high results, others will have low results. Then the second question, is it risk, a lot of risk or no risk? A lot of risk means that your Christians will be suffering. The devil can attack them. And activity with low risk means that the enemy cannot attack them. So you must see what can attack them and what cannot attack them. And then if you can find an activity with low risk and high results, that is the best activity you need to do at that moment. So you need to find out what is the best activity to do at high results in low risk. But if you must choose between result of risk, always do what has less risk. Because you want your soldier to come back home. You want your evangelist, when they come back home from doing evangelism, that your youth group and everybody who went out says, man, it was great. Because when he says, man, it was great, next week he will evangelize again. Next week he will evangelize. And every time he will become developing dinosaur skin. He will become this mighty warrior. In the end, you will have a whole group of mighty warriors. And then it becomes easier because the more they become stronger, they become strong against the attacks of the enemy. And then you can do things that are more riskful. All right? Let's say one thing that's a lot of risk. That's not because the devil will put bad impression upon your youth. But one of the best ways in the world to evangelize, you want to have a lot of results. A lot of results. Go as a man to the Protestant zone and preach the gospel to the Protestants. Man, you have high results. But if you want to lose your soul fast, you lose your soul fast there too. And I'll explain you why. Because those Protestants, they see for the real time a real man that loves them in the real way how God says to love, pure love. You know, you say the love that say it's agape love. Man, it's like drugs for those Protestants. It's like drugs. They have never seen that. So they say, woo! But they don't know how to respond. The only way how they respond, love, is with the love of Eros. So they directly will say, oh, you're my prince. And they will touch you in a way that is strange fire. You got to fight the Holy Ghost. Woo! But when they touch you, strange fire. But that strange fire, man, if you cannot hold it, you will burn by that strange fire. You understand? It's restful. So we need to be clever, my friends. We need to be clever. Evangelism, we go into the territory of the enemy among wolves. So what you need to do is to do always the evangelism with the lowest risk that your youth group will like. Today, what I like to do a lot with the youth is what we call flash mobs. What is a flash mob? You come with the group, you do a presentation that all the group has to do something like a theater piece or like a dance, something that's very dynamic. Because they're so involved in their activity, they are not looking how people, they are not looking if people are angry, people don't like, they're doing, let's say, the flash mob, the activity, the theater piece, the dance, they're so involved with their activity. All the people that don't like, they look bad, walk away, walk away. But the people that like, they stay watching, and they say, whoa. Then when they stop the activity and they look, maybe 100 people ran away, but they have not seen that. What they've seen when they stop, oh, there's 5 people, look at us, wow, great! Are you understanding? They're happy, they're joyful, they have not seen the rejection. I understand, because one of the most important things that the enemy uses is the rejection. So we need to do a pre-event, well prepared, well planned, see what is the activity that is the best, and then when we do the activity, we will see great results.